I'm just setting up here with an external sound card to the tape recorder, and I'm just going to do some tests I think and just see what we get. I should be able to make some recordings as well, sample the output, and we'll see what the DNL sounds like as well. So that's the next thing I should be doing. Well, this is interesting. This is taken with the dB meter, just looking at the frequency response on some recordings. Now I'm going to have to seriously have a look at this, if this is right. That is the response at 1 to 10 kilohertz. It tends to suggest that the response is seriously dropping over 4 kilohertz, so I'm going to try a different tape I think. Time to try a bit of demagnetization to see if the high frequency response comes up. Well, that doesn't seem to have made a great deal of difference, so okay. Still working on the mystery of the poor frequency response to the tape recorder, so I'm just wondering about attaching another deck to the electronics. Is this going to stay in focus? Yeah, the heads are connected here. I wish I could get a better shot. Let's see if we can. There we go. Yes, slightly better. And here's the 239 ohm resistors, one here and there's one here, and they're on the negative side of the head, so you can set the bias current through them. That's what I was trying to explain in the previous video. I don't think I did a particularly good job. Okay, so I've done the head demagnetization, no difference. The other possibility is, although I thought the capacitors were good, it is possible they're leaking and leaking DC into the head, but would you expect both capacitors to start leaking the same amount and causing the same problem? No, I don't think so. So what I think they're doing is popping the head wires out and then putting another deck on. And look at this deck, it's got a slightly worn head as well. So I'm going to have to see if I can find another head, perhaps. But this looks like it's going to be tricky, and I've done some more photography to make sure I know where all the wires go. There's a fair few that could fall off here again, but never mind. I think I'm rapidly running out of room on my bench, but I forgot to earth the deck to the other deck, but that's stopped the buzz. Yeah, I think I've got a problem here. That deck has got a worn head. There is actually a visible line where the tape runs on the head on this deck, yet we're showing a lot flatter response. So either I've done something with the azimuth, something seriously has gone wrong with the head, it's seriously worn, or there's some sort of misalignment on the deck. But I thought the azimuth sounded alright, so I'm a little bit puzzled now, but necessary. I'll do the DNL test using this deck, and so we can hear what it sounds like. That might just be an idea for the time being, so we can actually hear what it sounds like. What a mess. Just a close up of the head, and I think if I get the angle right, you can probably see the groove in it. You can see how the head is flattened if I get it in the light correctly for you. Very difficult to photograph something like this. Close the lid. Hope something... No, that's probably not a good idea. Now, how did I get it open? There we go. Yeah, oh yeah, now you can really see it. Yeah, that's pretty worn, isn't it? Not good. Okay, but it's still reproduced quite well. I'll try and hold this as steady as I can, but here's a zoom up of the head on the Dynatron. I asked myself the question, what is that line at the bottom? Almost a gap. I'm not sure. Because this is a plastic head, it's a little bit different than the norm, so yeah, not sure. Does it indicate it's worn? I just don't know. Let's have a look at the raised head. Gonna focus for me? Oh yeah. Looks like there's some wear on it. Yeah. Well, with these plastic heads, I'm not really sure. Okay. Little note to myself. The azimuth is adjustable on both sides. Manual suggests you need a jig to set that up. That makes changing the head a little bit more difficult. Normally you've only got the angle adjustment, but in this one you've got both. So that would be interesting, trying to set the head up without some sort of jig or test tape. Maybe it's possible to do some measurements. So, what do we know so far about the tape recorder? We know that I've done a test recording. We know that that test recording was showing the high frequency end falling off quite strongly. I made another test recording on the same tape using the auto bias Kenwood cassette deck. Run that through the Kenwood, flat to 9 kHz. Played that tape in here, starts falling off after a couple of kilohertz. I also, for a matter of interest, played the tape recorded in the Dynatron in the Kenwood machine and looked at the recording. The high frequency didn't fall off as fast on record, so that's why I thought perhaps the tape head demagnetisation would do, but I think at the end of the day I think I'm looking at a head replacement now, so I'm going to have to try and find some head to fit this. Now that's obviously going to mean resetting bias, probably the record level indicator as well. So that's going to be a little bit different, because I don't think for a minute I'm going to find a Dynatron head anywhere. I think that's very, very unlikely, so we'll have to I think I have to put this back in its box for the moment until I can source a head, and also work out that problem with setting the azimuth up. It might be that if I measure with some measurements before I take the head out, I might be able to give myself some guidance, but if it's not right on the track, it's going to cause a few problems, but I'm sure they're overcomable.